You've probably heard of some of the Latin America's most notorious drug trafficking kingpins like Pablo Escobar or Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. However, these female names we are going to mention are probably unfamiliar to you. These are just a few of the female leaders of Latin America's cocaine trafficking networks till date. Today, we'll look at the top 5 most ruthless female cartel bosses in Latin America. The queens of the Mexican drug cartels are fond of tight jeans, red lipstick, inspiring telenovelas, and Latin music. They go by the names the Little Queen and the Misses, among others. They can wage a full-scale war against their adversaries and are just as ruthless and brutal as any of their male counterparts. Men used to be the only ones allowed to join cartels, and women were only allowed to attend parties. But now, women are one of the most powerful forces in one of the biggest criminal organizations in the world, participating in all facets of the cartels, including acting as female hitmen or sicarios. Here are the top 5 most high-ranking cartel queens. Starting with number 5, Emma Coronel Ayaspuro, or Mrs. El Chapo. Emma Modesta Coronel Ayaspuro is a former American teen beauty queen. She is well known for being the wife of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who was the most wanted drug lord in Mexico up until he was sentenced to life in prison. She was arrested in the United States in February 2021 on suspicion of conspiring to illegally import and distribute drugs, money laundering, and doing business with a significant foreign narcotics trafficker who had been identified as a kingpin under the Kingpin Act. In November of 21, Coronel received a sentence of 3 years in prison. The Mexican-born drug trafficking Californian woman first met her husband in 2006 when she was 17 years old at a party her father hosted. A year later in Canelas, a town in northwest Mexico, she was crowned Miss Coffee and Guava. Many people believe she won the title because of El Chapo's influence because the couple announced their engagement before the pageant and their intention to get married. El Chapo proposed to the beauty queen at the competition. Since she showed up at her coronation wearing a diamond-encrusted crown, El Chapo nicknamed her as Little Queen. They got married on her 18th birthday. At the time of the ceremony, El Chapo was 50 years old. The FBI claims that after El Chapo was captured by Mexican authorities in 2014, Coronel Ayaspuro assisted her husband in distributing cocaine and relaying information to the cartel while he was imprisoned in Mexico. Number 4. Jessica Oseguera, or La Negra. The 35-year-old daughter of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, the head of the rival cartel to El Chapo's, Jessica Oseguera was given a 2.5-year prison sentence and charged with 5 counts of engaging in transactions or dealing in properties of designated foreign person. According to court records, she ran businesses intended to money launder for the cartel through a number of businesses, including sushi restaurants, a resort, and a tequila company. She holds dual U.S.-Mexico citizenship. In March 2021, Oseguera Gonzalez pleaded guilty to the charges. She could have received a sentence of up to 30 years in prison for her offenses, but in June 2021, she was only given a 30-month sentence. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Jessica was released from federal prison on March 14th after serving 25 months in detention. The Jalisco New Generation cartel is run by Oseguera's father, a gang leader known as El Mincio in the underworld, one of the cruelest drug trafficking organizations in Mexico. Its members are notorious for beheading adversaries and dissolving their bodies in acid. El Mincio is one of the most wanted traffickers by the Drug Enforcement Administration and is in charge of 5,000 hitmen. Oseguera Gonzalez, however, was released under the First Step Act, which aims to reduce the number of people in prison. The First Step Act forbids the release of persons charged with certain drug trafficking offenses involving drug cartels, but Oseguera Gonzalez's offenses did not fit into this category. Number 3. Clara Elena Labarrin, or La Señora. Authorities imprisoned Clara Elena Labarrin in 2016, a former Sonora State beauty queen who had married El Chapo's former Sinaloa cartel partner Hector Beltran Leyva. Labarrin's husband treated her like a trophy wife, earning her the nickname La Señora, or the Missus. In 2008, after his brother and business partner Alfredo was imprisoned by Mexican authorities, Beltran Leyva split from El Chapo and established his own cartel. Beltran Leyva waged a brutal war against the Sinaloa cartel because he believed El Chapo had turned his brother into the authorities. Labarrin was hired to oversee the Beltran Leyva cartel's money laundering operation. In 2010, she was kidnapped by a rival group and captured in photographs while wearing a blindfold, having her hands and feet bound, and having automatic rifles pointed at her. She was released after 13 days and sent back to oversee the cartel's finances. When her husband was arrested 4 years later, Labarrin took control of the cartel and instigated one of the bloodiest waves of violence in Acapulco. The resort city became Mexico's murder capital thanks to her brutal campaign for dominance. Tourists were subjected to bullet-riddled bodies on beaches as the Beltran cartel battled the independent cartel of Acapulco, getting caught in the crossfire. Number 2. Jocelyn Alejandra Nino. Jocelyn Alejandra Nino, also known as the Skinny One, Tamaulipas-based drug cartel's suspected assassin who was from Mexico. She was also known as the Gulf Cartel. When an unidentified user posted a photo of her posing with a gun on an organized crime league page in January 5, 2015, it quickly became popular on social media. She was listed as a Rio Bravo-based member of the Gulf Cartel in the post. She was wearing a bulletproof vest and a golden necklace and had her sunglasses perched on her head. The background of the picture prompted commentary on the assassins working for cartel's apparent low-income lifestyle, which seemed to contradict the idea that they led luxurious lives in Mexico. Others in the comments section debated whether lifestyles like Nino's were risk-worthy given the organized crime bosses are said to enjoy the majority of the luxuries. She belonged to a subgroup of the Gulf Cartel called the Los Ciclones, and her job as a foot soldier was to fight off cells of the Los Metros, a rival group. She was discovered dead on April 13, 2015 when Mexican authorities found her dismembered body in an ice chest in the Matamoros parking lot. Her body showed evidence of torture. She was identified by the distinctive tattoo of her last name, Nino, on her forearm. Investigators also discovered a second dismembered female at the scene, along with a decapitated male who was reportedly a member of the Los Ciclones. She was killed, according to a written message left at the scene by Los Metros. The fact that only women could be members of the Las Flacas cartel, which is one of the best organized cartels. And Jocelyn Alejandra Nino was a key hitman for the Las Flacas cartel, which since 2007 has been largely accountable for the deaths that have occurred in parts of Baja California, Nuevo León, Sonora, and Tamaulipas. The horrific death of Jocelyn, also known as the Hitman Girl, shocked the public. Number 1. Sandra Avila Beltran, or Queen of the Pacific. The most renowned of the drug empresses was Sandra Avila Beltran, who was so respected by the cartels that she earned the title Queen of the Pacific and inspired the band Los Tigres del Norte to write the well-known narco corrido song about her in 2004. The lyrics say, "The rose is as beautiful as the thorns are sharp. This is why she is number 1 in our video." Furthermore, she served as the model for the Mexican telenovela La Reina del Sur, Queen of the South. By taking control of a fleet of tuna boats carrying 10 tons of cocaine each and sailing from the port of Manzanillo to California in 2001, Avila Beltran acquired her nickname. Avila Beltran went into hiding after authorities seized some of the cargo. Avila Beltran, now 61, played a significant role in establishing connections between Mexican cartels and Colombian cocaine traffickers, largely as a result of her love affair with Colombian drug lord Juan the Tiger Diego Espinosa. She has relationships with several capos and is related to several powerful cartel bosses, including Rafael Caro Quintero of the Guadalajara cartel. She married 2 police officers who joined the cartels as well. Her second husband was stabbed in the heart, and her first husband was killed in a shootout during the Mexican drug wars. Avila Beltran was well known for wearing a gold king tut pendant that was set with 83 rubies, 228 diamonds, and 89 sapphires in addition to her favorite tight jeans and stilettos. She also had raven hair. She was discovered by the police in 2002 after paying a $5 million ransom when her teenage son was taken hostage by rival drug dealers. Avila Beltran, who owned more than 200 properties in Guadalajara, was arrested 5 years later after police inquired about the source of the cash used by this modest housewife. She was accused of assisting her Colombian boyfriend with drug sales and money laundering through the electronic beach chain of tanning salons that she owned. Even after she pleaded guilty and eventually told U.S. authorities that she assisted her Colombian boyfriend in selling drugs, Avila Beltran found it difficult to avoid the spotlight. "It's nice to be called a queen," she told the judge at one of her first hearings in Mexico. She was released in 2015 after serving time in both Mexican and American prisons, and she now resides quietly in Guadalajara. Well, that just about wraps up this video. What are your thoughts about the female narcos on our list? And do you feel like that we're missing someone else that you think should be on this list? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. See you next time.